Hello, cool cats of the interwebs. It is your girl Haley back at it again with another episode of the pre-review crew for April 2022. As you can tell by our intro, it's just two girls, two microphones, and a whole bunch of video games and not a lot else going on. Mike and Brennan can't be here today, so filling in is, as always, is our very special guest, Emily. I like to say she doesn't know anything about video games, but I know that she does.
Heck yeah. Hi, I'm Emily. I haven't been on an episode in a hot second, like 9-ish months. But I'm glad to be back. Excited to talk about some cool new games coming up.
Don't sound so cheerful to be on the show.
I'm excited, mostly because I went onto the wiki for the game that I picked, and I'm so excited to tell you what I found. But we can wait. It'll be a very fun surprise.
I just put on my chapstick because I am now deeply disturbed, and going into that, we have to be prepared. So carry protection, mainly lip protection nowadays, guys. But anyway, this is not...
That felt like the opening to a sponsor.
I was gonna say not sponsored by EOS because that's just what I put on, but... Anyway, we are gonna hop right into it because we got a lot to talk about tonight. Because we like to talk, as you've seen. So we are going to talk about the game that we didn't get to talk about last month. We're gonna kick it off with Elden Ring. Very popular. A lot of people are giving it great scores. Definitely going to be game of the year for a lot of people. Just to recap, it's a single player plus co-op action RPG developed by From Software, published by Bandai Namco. Came out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. It released on February 25th, and the top critic average is 95, with 98% of critics recommending.
I haven't had a chance to listen to last month's episode, but I'm honestly surprised that you guys didn't cover Elden Ring fully, because like that game has completely blown up. Like I feel like everybody is talking about it. Even if they don't have any interest in playing in it, they're talking about it.
We didn't get to talk about it last month because when we recorded the podcast, the reviews weren't out yet. So
okay,
that's why we're talking about it a little bit late, but honestly, looking at the scores, it doesn't surprise me. From Software games have always been highly rated. So honestly, it's sort of what I expect. I have been watching a lot of gameplay of Elden Ring. I think the only thing that, and I've said this before, the only thing that sort of bums me out is that I feel like the lore doesn't go deep enough, and I was very much stuck trying to put two and two together, and I told Brennan that, and Brennan did say that a lot of the From Software lore is more so hidden in the character descriptions and item descriptions, and in random things that you find around the world rather than through dialogue with the characters. So
I have only heard like pretty good things about the game, but I was surprised like to hear my boyfriend and his friends talking about like how quickly they beat the game and like how they're going back in to do like other things to beat it. And I was just surprised because I don't know, it kind of goes along with what you're saying. I think I would be more interested in playing this game if there was more in-game lore rather than like having to search for it through character descriptions and item descriptions and stuff like that. I would rather it be kind of within the gameplay itself.
I would too, but it just seems like that's the way From Software does it.
Yeah.
And I would say while it works, I don't think doing it that way provides enough of a story. Like I feel like it's leaving, like I said, leaving me without like having to sort of connect the dots between things and sort of figure out who's who and what goes where and why this is happening. I was honestly on the wiki page a whole bunch trying to figure out, like, okay, who's this person? What's their backstory? Who's this person? What's their backstory? And there's not a lot there because there's not a lot in the game. And I also feel like your boyfriend and his friends, they're sitting there talking like, oh, well, I beat the game so fast because it's open world. So they kind of like give you a path that you can follow, but they don't hold you to that. So if you want to speed run the game in 28 seconds, because I think that's the world record right now, you can. And just run right through the game and beat the boss, and that's it. Or you could take your time. I've been watching the Rad Brad play, and he was like, I'm gonna finish up majority of the stuff in this section before I go off because I want to explore as much as I can, but he's like, I don't want to spend 20, 30, 40 hours in one area because the game is pretty huge. So yeah. Honestly, I'm not surprised. It's gonna go up against God of War if God of War releases this year. Horizon Forbidden West released right around this. So it has some heavy contenders, but honestly, I feel like this is probably already Game of the Year, and I know Brennan would be shitting his pants right now because he absolutely loves From Software games. So hopefully right here is where he will insert a title card with his comments because I know he has a lot of them. But being that I didn't play Elden Ring, I don't want to spend too much time on it. So
I heard that it was very similar to Dark Souls, and I'm not a Dark Souls kind of person. I don't like getting super frustrated by the games I play, and it sounded like it could be that way. So I was like, I'll pass on this one. I'd rather like see other people play it and like read about the lore and stuff.
Yeah, it's a From Software game, and if you know what From Software makes, then you know what you're getting yourself into.
Yes, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't really have much more to say besides that, because that's basically it. So, we're talking about a game that's at the top of 2022. Like I said, definitely Game of the Year contender, if not Game of the Year. So, if you then go, Haley, what is the opposite of Game of the Year? Well, it's games that shouldn't be made. And Haley's biggest disappointment of the pre-review crew for 2022, and that is Babylon's Fall. And when I say I am disappointed, I am hella disappointed. But before I say why, here's a recap. It's a single-player co-op action RPG. It's developed by Platinum Games, published by Square Enix. It came out on PC, PS4, and PS5 on March 3rd. Top critic average, 42.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure that's the lowest that we've ever had on a pre-review crew, including our old podcast that was on Game Luster, with 4% of critics recommending. Four. Who were those 4 people that went, damn, this is actually a good game. I'm so happy I spent $60 on this. Who are you? And what are you drinking? What are you smoking? Like, what?
Literally, Kotaku, the game review website, is saying it's PS5's new worst game. Like, oof.
IGN rated this a 4 out of 10. PC Gamer rated a 45 out of 100. Metro Game Channel gave it a 2 out of 10. Destructoid gave it a 5 out of 10. That's generous. The 6th Axis gave it a 3 out of 10. Shack News gave it a 5 out of 10. The game fucking sucks. It sucks. I thought I was going to like it. Okay, here's why I thought I was going to like it. 1, it's by Platinum Games. If you know anything about Platinum, they are the ones who developed Bayonetta, and they also developed Astral Chain. And I love Astral Chain. 100% love Astral Chain. Great game. So I was like, yes, like this is going to be cool. It's also kind of like a hack and slash. So I was like, yes, your bitch loves a hack and slash game. This game fucking sucks. The art style, if you've seen
It's
gameplay,
lacking.
100%. Now, they do say that they've tried to mimic it off of like old Italian artwork, but that doesn't translate. Like, this isn't the game to put that kind of art style on it. Like, I would expect that on, say, like Octopath Traveler. Like, that has that gives me that Renaissance artwork feel. This game should not have
It,
any sort of artwork
it
type art style.
like I can see the inspiration in like some of the character design, but the actual, like, I'm looking at screen caps of the game, and like while the lighting feels a bit like a Caravaggio painting, who is like known for his like really dark darks and light lights, like that was made for paintings, not for video games.
This looks like somebody made
I'm
it
not
for like a
feeling it.
PS2 game. Like,
Yes! Yeah, it looks like those old Final Fantasy games.
yeah, like this does not translate well to just modern day fucking engines, game engines.
Yeah.
A lot of people have said it's repetitive and forgettable. The combat's lacking. I don't know. It's just I heard a rumor. It's a rumor, don't take this word for word, that apparently Platinum has what they would say as two game studios or two teams. One that pushes out sort of their top of the line games, Bayonetta, Astral Chain, Nier Automata, and then another one that sort of pushes out games like this, sort of like, I would almost say like filler games, that they sort of just make to fulfill any like contracts, or that they make to just fill in holes. And I'm just like, oh, really? Yeah, do me like that? Like, I'll make good ass games. Like, what the fuck was going on here? Like, why the slip up? Why the slip up? Why? I don't know. It's just not good. I don't have anything to say beyond it's just not good. I feel like an action RPG hack and slash game is not a game that should have this sort of art style. It just doesn't bring anything to the table.
I also just heard that like the storyline wasn't that great, and like it was more than just the art style.
Yeah. So,
and like a hack and slash game not having a good story isn't the end of the world, so it really is saying something that it has a 42%.
The game could have been better, and with it coming from who it's coming from, I thought it was going to be better, but it honestly looks like they made this game in 2012 and then went, hey guys, we should probably release a game. What do we have already completed? Oh yeah, that game that was supposed to be out on like fucking GameCube back in like 1999. Okay, cool. Let's put it out. Jesus Lord. That's harsh. I know that's harsh, but it's not worth it. And it has microtransactions.
Oh no!
It's a live service game. So
no.
on top of all that, they also tried to monetize it. So that doesn't help either. Honestly, save your money, don't buy Babylon's Fall. Anyway, let's move on. I want to cry. I just want to cry. I would expect Ubisoft to get like a 4%, but Platinum Games and Square Enix, what are y'all doing? Anyway, now that we're done staring at that dumpster fire, we're going to talk about Rune Factory 5. It's a single-player RPG. Its developers Hakama, and it's published by Xseed Games. It came out on the Switch. It released on March 22nd. It has a top critic average of 70, with 44% of critics recommending it. I also just realized I forgot the link for that.
Can we pause for a hot second?
Yes.
I need to poop.
Okay.
I will be back.
Okay. Damn, Daniel, back with them white vans. As if we never left. We are back to. Oh, side note, I put the link in the doc for Rune Factory 5. But we're back to talking about Rune Factory 5. I think Mike was super excited about this game, either Mike or Brennan. And it just got okay reviews. IGN said Rune Factory 5 is entertainingly chewable fodder thanks to the soil fertilized by its predecessors, but its attempt leap to a 3D world leaves it struggling with a lot of frustrating technical issues. So, seems like overall people like the game, it's just bringing it into a 3D art style, not necessarily there yet.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me a lot, like, artistically wise, of this game that I used to play for the PlayStation called Dark Cloud 2. And seeing its art style got me really, really excited. And I started to look up to see if, like, Dark Cloud 2 was on the Switch, which it's not. So now I'm going to go cry. But that is my input for Rune Factory 5, is that it looks like Dark Cloud 2.
I mean, it looks like a cute game, don't get me wrong. Watching the trailer, you can definitely tell that bringing it into a 3D world definitely has some downturn. The textures are very
flat.
Yes, they don't look updated. So I get it. Somebody else said, who said what? Somebody else said something. Digital Trends said it's just not quite as friendly for newcomers. And Daily Mirror said that outside of the new additions to the gameplay, I feel the title still played it too safe as there wasn't too much to separate its overall experiences from past titles. The familiarity and reuse of certain game mechanics may be fully welcomed by fans who've waited so long, but I feel like this is needed to differentiate the overall experience. So it's kind of like, okay, they slapped a new coat of paint on it and tried to make it a new game, but they didn't really spice it up to make it a new game. Rune Factory 5 just isn't something that I would play. It's cute, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's really cute. I just like I don't know. It doesn't look interesting, and especially with the 3D art style not kind of being up to where it needs to be. It's it's meh.
It's just meh. And I know that Mike and Brennan would definitely disagree.
I was going to say it's like, considering that this is number 5, I'm guessing, considering it is Rune Factory 5, it probably has like its diehard fans who just really enjoy it, and I'm sure that they're excited to see the switch to something visually new, because it means that more things are probably coming for them in the future.
I mean, I definitely hope that they take the feedback that they've received and they grow upon it, because they could have maybe their whole decision in not making it completely new and adding new aspects was because they were too busy focusing on the art style, and that's fine. But still, if you're going to make this a new game, add something that actually is welcoming to newcomers, because, well, then how are you supposed to get more people like into your game?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'd buy it if I didn't have anything to do and it was on sale.
Yeah, like if I could get it for pretty cheap, I think I would go for it.
Yeah, because like,
give it a shot. Maybe not 5, considering that it doesn't sound like there's something new, but
it kind of reminds me of a Pokemon farming simulator.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna murder me for that in my sleep, but
probably
it's giving
me Brennan's super violent. We all know he is.
It's giving me 3D Pokemon farming simulator. Anyway, I'm pissing so many people off. And the last game we're gonna talk about for our preview or review section, my bad, I'm getting everything mixed up because we're completely shitting on games tonight, is Ghostwire Tokyo. And honestly, this game is really fucking neat. It's a single player action adventure game. Its developer is Tango Gameworks and it's published by Bethesda. It came out on PC and PS5. It released on March 25th. 5th. Now, the top critic average is 77, with 65% of people recommending this. And I think that's a little low. I think it's a little low.
I think it's a little low, but I also think that a lot of people were expecting it to be a horror game, and it's definitely not as much. Like, it's not like a Silent Hill. It's more of like a Japanese Ghostbuster.
Well, and
Ghostbusters?
I'm pretty sure we sort of talked about that in the last episode, that it didn't, the way that they had marketed it and did the trailers made it seem like it was going to be a very spooky horror game. But when you actually play it, it's not really that at all. Like, yes, you do have ghosts, you do have spirits based off of Japanese folklore and things like that. And those in itself are creepy and spooky, but beyond that, it's not really a horror game.
Yeah, like you and I were watching some of the gameplay last month, and I mean, I was super excited for this game to come out because I had thought it was a horror game, and I was like, oh my gosh, the art style is awesome, the lore is going to be so cool. And like, not that it's not, because it definitely is still a really cool looking game, but I wanted a Japanese horror game.
Yeah,
I think they might have advertised it like that too much, so people's expectations were very different.
I feel like a lot of people went into this. Somebody from PC Gamer said fun combat and a sophisticated city burdened by the unfulfilled potential of a far scarier experience. I definitely have to agree. The way that they marketed this was definitely like a horror game. And I definitely think the gameplay and the story and the actual combat is really cool, especially because it's all based off of Japanese and their folklore and stuff like that, and the symbols that they're using when he casts like different like spells and things like that. So neat. They put a lot of thought into this, but I sort of almost think that they wanted to make a horror game, but then realized that it wasn't turning out that way. So then they were like, oh, we're gonna make it an action game, and it seems to do well as an action game. But if you're going to make an action game, market it as an action game. Don't market it as like a super scary, this guy makes everyone mysteriously vanish and then he's the only last one left and he has to go defeat this bad guy that like wants to steal his sister as a host, and spooky.
Yeah, that's like kind of my exact thoughts. Like, it is a super cool game, and I don't want to take away from that, but they should have advertised it how it is basically like all of what we're saying comes down to that.
Yep. I just
but the real horror of this game is that you can read dogs' minds, and they'll be by like their owner's clothes sniffing, and when you read their minds, they're going like, where's my owner? Like, where's my dad? Like, how fucking heartbreaking is that? Why would you put that there? That's so mean.
This is what she's upset about.
It makes me sad. They're just little confused babies. They want their mommies and daddies.
This is what she's upset about, the damn dogs.
Heartless bitch. Of course I am.
My favorite part of the whole game, though, I was watching Brad play, and he went to a convenience store, and there was a floating Lucky Cat.
Was it really? That's adorable.
And he sells you stuff, and I was like, that's so cute. So I mean, don't get me wrong. If you don't know, now you know. Tango Gameworks is also the developer of The Evil Within and The Evil Within 2. So this is their first game in a while that they've made, because The Evil Within 2 released back in 2017. So I like The Evil Within, straight up horror game. Straight up piss your pants, very scary horror game. So I sort of like that I'm like hit or miss with it. I'm sort of like, oh yeah, it's cool that they're sort of branching away from horror and doing something else, but at the same exact time, I'm like, y'all are known for horror, so like, why are you not like trying to make me cry for my mom at this moment? So I'm sort of like, Overall, I think it's a good game.
Yes, I agree. I think that out of all of the games on the list, that is actually Elden Ring, I forgot was on the list. Like the second most successful.
Yeah. So hopefully it just doesn't get overshadowed. Hopefully Brad plays more of it so I can actually watch more of it. But if you need a break from Elden Ring and you want to play something cool that has sad dogs and floating cats, go play some Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah, that is the whole point of the game. Is to
Exactly.
find the sad dogs and all of the flying cats.
And you just pet the animals, nothing else matters. So after we're done shitting on the games that came out already, we are now going to proceed to smear our feces all
What?
over.
I did not agree to this part. Oh God.
That was a great segue.
No, it was not.
It was fantastic. Don't kill the vibe. Anyway.
Brennan, cut.
No, leave it there. It's great. Okay, fine. Okay,
Anyway.
PG-13. Let me just start off by saying that April sort of sucks. You go from March and February where it was hot. You had Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring in February. Then you're coming in with, we're not going to talk about the flaming trash of Babylon's Fall, but you had Ghostwire Tokyo. I believe the spin-off for what's that? It's like Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Yeah. Tiny Tina's Wonderland. That is a spin-off from Borderlands that also came out in March. So you had some hard-hitting games coming in March, and then you roll into April and you're like, damn, where are all the games? Well, they didn't have any in April because all y'all are broke.
Because we spent all of our money buying games in February and March.
Exactly. So while you're pinching pennies, throw a couple pennies to these indie games. So we got 2 indie games and then, well, a game that will get you moving to help you lose the weight from all the time that you spent on the couch playing Elden Ring. We're first going to kick it off with Road 96, not to get it mixed up with the funny number. It's an indie action adventure game. It's developed by Digi Art?
Digix Art?
Maybe?
Is it Digix Art?
No, it's definitely all lowercase. Anyway, and it's published by Ravenscourt. It's coming out on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. It releases on April 14th. Now, the game is already out on, I believe, the Switch, and it has been on the Switch for a while now. So this is just re-releasing on console.
It looks like a really cute game. Like when I first heard of it, I was like, oh, it's going to be like a car game or something boring, blah, 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 blah. And then I actually looked into it and I was like, oh, this kind of seems like a cozy game almost.
Sort of. It is from the creators of Valiant Heart, which was a pretty cool game, and Memories Retold, which we haven't covered that. It is a procedural roadmap, so it will switch every single time.
Yeah. It's different for everybody.
Yeah, and it looks deep. I wouldn't necessarily, like, in my opinion, I wouldn't call this a cozy game just because it is hitting on a lot of very serious factors.
I think when I say cozy game, I more mean that it's not like a first person shooter or like a strategy game. Like you're not trying to like spend a lot of time like fighting, essentially. It's like it is definitely deep and it has like a story to tell. So yeah, cozy game I don't think was the right word to use.
It's really, I feel like going with today's sort of political climate, I think this is a really cool game because it's like you're trying to leave a country in turmoil that's under this heavy regime, and you just meet a whole bunch of people along your way and you get to learn their stories and you get to develop your character while on the road trying to run from what's going on around you. So I think that's really neat. I definitely want to give this game a shot because it does look super cool, but I don't really have anything to say, being that's already technically out. So,
Hmm.
and Valiant Heart was really good. I really like Valiant Heart. That game
Hmm.
was very cute, very pretty. Heartbreaking, but still a really good game. So, yeah.
Oh, one thing I do have to say is that okay, so like I'm also pretty excited about this game because it sounds really interesting, but I heard that it was inspired by like Tarantino and the Coen brothers and Bong Joon-ho. So like I'm super interested in the story because all three of them are fantastic storytellers. Um so I just thought that was like a really cool, like I don't know, it just got me really interested in the game and in the story that the game's actually telling rather than, I don't know, like just playing the game, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Hopefully it does. And it does take place in 1996, which is sort of the backdrop for the game. So I
Yeah.
think that's like really cool because you're going to see a lot of 96 was it was a year. Let's just say it was a year. I was only a year old, so I can totally attest to it being a year. But I feel like that was sort of the in between. I feel like between 95 and 2000 was sort of the turning age. So you're going to see a lot of sort of like neat old stuff. I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say here.
It has that 90s aesthetic and 90s vibe.
Yeah, but it's also you're leaning into the 2000s, so you're going to start getting that like early
Yeah, like
2000s look.
you're approaching like the Y2K aesthetic.
Yeah.
You're leaving the 90s. Yeah, it's
Yeah. So, those were the years.
when we were one.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
The only thing I thought about was
Pooping.
pooping and eating food.
I mean, that's all we do now, so
You right. Don't call me out
minus
like that on
minus
my
the
podcast.
puking.
I feel very that's that hurts. That hurts. Anyway, but yeah, so it's really cool. There's even like a scene where there's like two like masked gunmen, like robbers in a diner. So, pretty cool, pretty cool. I think I'll pick it up if I find it on sale. Looks like a game that I'd find on sale. Not saying
That
I'm not
feels like
saying
an insult.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
You
Ah,
look like a game that I would find on sale.
you make it sound like I'm soliciting a hooker. I'm so sorry. If the developers are listening, she made me say it. Anyway, we're now going to kick it over to something completely different. While Road 96 is serious, yes, but it's also fun in the simple fact that you get to meet a whole bunch of different characters and experience their stories, and each gameplay is going to be different every single time. We're going to kick it over to something a little bit more serious, and this game is called Forgive Me Father. It's a dark, retro, horror, first person shooter. That's a lot that I am saying. It was developed by Byte Barrel and published by 1C Entertainment. It's coming out on PC. Its official release is April 7th, but it has been early access on Steam since October 26th. Now, the game is definitely inspired by Lovecraft stories, and it does have this weird comic book art style to it that honestly is so fucking neat. Like, I hate first person shooters, but this game looks hella fucking cool.
It really does. I was looking at the art style earlier, and it's just like it comic book is the perfect way to describe it. It's like super heavy, thick lines. Like the colors are so vivid, but like the shading, it's like it is just so cool. It's beyond cool.
And it's like the little text boxes even look like they're from like a comic book. If you shoot somebody in the head, it pops up headshot.
It feels so classic.
Yeah, like it's just because they have pre-recorded gameplay from the developer on the Steam page. So it's just I'm just like, this is so neat. This is so neat. Like,
And like as much as I hate HP Lovecraft as a person, I eat up any content that has like Lovecraft vibes. And this absolutely has Lovecraft vibes.
all the enemies are like crazy looking, and like you can beat. I just saw him beat somebody with a broom.
Ah,
So
very, very Hitman-esque.
yeah, why not? So it looks really neat. I'm a little hesitant because outside of it being based off of H.P. Lovecraft novels, in the little blurb on the Steam page, it says, as the only one left with full senses, you begin a journey in search of answers and relief. How long can you last? And it's sort of like, what does that even mean? Like, what is this even about?
Maybe it's, oh God, what's the genre? Like, is it like roguelike where you have like you're making it up to a certain point, you die, you go back, and then you have to like try again?
God, I hope not.
Yeah, Robbie likes those types of games. I am not a fan.
I'm not a fan. But I'm
But it's
just
so cool. I can hear Ziva in the background just shaking.
I don't think she agrees. I think she says that she doesn't like this game. I think it's because she thinks it might be scary.
Well, she doesn't have thumbs, so she has no rights.
Ziva is a dog, for anybody wondering.
For any human out there who doesn't have thumbs, I'm not talking about you. You're fine. You have rights.
So
So I think that's a pretty cool game. It's one that I would wait to see other people playing before I played it myself, because I'm also picky about my first person shooters.
I so apparently there's two skill trees. You can either be a priest or a journalist.
Yeah.
Assuming that the priest is more so like spells and the journalist is the one who's doing all the blasting. But I'm just more so curious, like, what is the story for this game? Because they haven't really given you much of that. So it's like, okay, great, like, you're the last person left. You have to make it out alive. But why were you there or wherever you are in the first place? Like, what is going on here?
I keep seeing like war, but also like hospital pictures, and like it's they're really not giving much away with this.
They
With
aren't. So
so I'm excited. I'm
I'm
excited.
very excited. I'm sort of nervous. The game has been it hasn't been in early access that long. So I mean it's definitely given them a lot of time to flesh a lot of stuff out, but I'm just also like story wise because if you look at they have a roadmap on their Steam page.
Mhm.
It says all story elements. So they've waited until the very end to basically give you the story for the game. They've also waited until the end to give you the fourth and fifth acts and the journalist character. So what are you sort of getting yourself into if they haven't even given you the full story? I'm very concerned, but I'm also excited. But I'm also a little
Yeah.
concerned because I'm just like,
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
I just want to know what the story's about. Because, well, here's another thing. Everybody and their mother has done some sort of, oh my god, my game was like based off of H.P. Lovecraft. It's like, okay, great. So, so what? So,
Yeah, it's kind of like it's as much as I eat up like HP Lovecraft-ish content, I also understand that like some of it's exhausting. Like and not to shit on the show, but like Lovecraft County, I wasn't like a huge fan of.
I love that show.
Like the actors were fantastic, and I think it was super interesting.
That game had,
but it was
that movie had
it
movie show game. That show had absolutely nothing to do with Lovecraft.
it pulled a lot of the overdone things. It had Lovecraft creatures in it. And I think that I don't know. I don't know what I think. It's Thursday. My brain's not working.
I reviewed The Sinking City on PS4
Yeah.
when that came out, and let me tell you, that game was broke for one. It was broke. Broke. And if you want to look it up, you can go read my review on Game Luster, no longer affiliated with them, but shout out to them. That game was broke. And the story was bland and boring. Yes, it did incorporate creatures and
too many
like
people rely on the Lovecraft aspect, and they don't make their own interesting stories.
Like they basically took his creatures that he's made and they were like, okay, well, what if these creatures were just normal everyday citizens? And then there was something else going on too underneath the surface. And no, it doesn't work. Like,
Yeah.
give me something else. Like, okay, that's cool. You're taking these characters. What are you doing with them? And what story are you trying to tell with them that hasn't already been told? Because no matter which way you sit there and push it, I've already experienced the story before.
Yeah, like I am excited, and the Lovecraftian aspect is what's drawing me in. Like the art style associated with that is what's drawing me in, but it's also very cautious.
I sort of just. Oh, I have a dog. Hold on. Here's some pets for
Hi,
you.
baby. Hi, Steve. I love you, except when you bite
She
me. Then
can't hear
you're
you.
mean. That's
Anyway,
okay. She can feel my presence.
um, I sort of just wish that if people are doing a Lovecraft game, that instead of just taking the creatures that he's made, making them into creatures in their game, and then just being like, oh yeah, like we're just gonna slap a new fresh coat of paint on this, like that they would just take it and make it into something fresh. Like if you're going, I don't know many HP Lovecraft stories, but if you're going to take Cthulhu, for example, this big ass eldritch monster, make it cool. Give me something new. Make it
Yeah,
more scary.
don't just make another Cthulhu.
Yeah. Like make it Cthulhu on fucking steroids like the Hulk. Or make it something that isn't as scary. Like
I was gonna say make it so that I fall in love with Cthulhu, but I am like 90% sure that's already a game.
that is a game. I'm pretty sure it's a Steam game and it's like HP Lovecraft's Love Simulator. Um
Yes.
but just give
I'm
me
gonna
something.
seduce me a Cthulhu.
My brain just went tentacle monster. Anyway, just give me something new. And I'm trying to sit here and come up with ways of like how to do something new.
It's all in the story.
Yeah.
Like it really, because you can put the monsters in and have a really cool game. You can put the monsters in and have a really shit game. It's all based on how good is the story surrounding the monsters.
Yeah. So at least in Forgive Me Father, it looks like the HP Lovecraft style is definitely the monsters where it is inspired by the monsters. Now the game also looks like it's played in waves, so I'm curious about that as well. Like, is this one of those just like, okay, you're going to go in different levels and then experience different hordes of enemies? So I don't know. This is a game that I definitely want to. I'm gonna wait until it comes out of early access. It's only $20, so honestly not that bad. Yes, I'd pay $20 for this. But I want to wait until it's finished so I can experience the full story, so I can get both characters and figure out which one sort of works for me. And just so I can overall experience the whole game. I'm not the type of person that wants to go into a game like this that's in early access and doesn't give me the full story. Now, the full story when it comes out could potentially just be a full story. Maybe they're only doing waves for early access, so you get the use of like playing the game and experiencing the enemies and things like that. But I'm just gonna wait until the game fully comes out.
Yeah, I agree.
But it looks really cool. I think that was probably the most coming out for April at least. That is honestly the coolest game. But
Yeah.
we're gonna kick it over to a game that's gonna get your ass moving off that couch because you sank so much far into it that literally your mom couldn't pull you out and they had to get a helicopter to get your ass off that couch because you playing too much goddamn Elden Ring. There will be no Elden Ring in April. None.
Oh,
We are taking a
okay.
break. We are
Okay,
taking a
Miss English major. You
We
just
are
made a whole backstory.
Thank you. We are taking a break from Elden Ring. And we're going to get fit with
God.
Nintendo Switch Sports.
What were we gonna make t-shirts saying? 2022 is about tattoo pains and gym gains.
Yeah. Well, it should say Nintendo Switch Sports Games because that's what we're going to talk about. It's the most exciting game that we've talked about all day. It's a multiplayer sports game, if you didn't already know. It's developed and published by Nintendo. It's coming out, well, it's in the title, on the Switch. And it releases on April 29th. Maybe we should say, like, May is no Elden Ring since this is coming out, like, at the end of April.
Yeah, you gotta give yourself a starting point
You're right.
when you're trying to get fit, right?
No more Elden Ring. We're banning Elden Ring from here on out. Brendan's like putting up a sign right now that says Haley's on drugs. But your favorite game from the Wii is back. You can play soccer, volleyball, bowling, tennis, badminton, and chambara. I hope I'm saying that word right, which is sword play using the Joy-Con controllers. So they also said a 7th sport is planning to be added via a free update this fall. Get ready to golf. Oh god, guys. Oh god. Be the next what's a non-controversial golf?
I literally only know Tiger Woods. So.
McAvoy? Is McAvoy a golfer?
Maybe. Or is that an actor? James McAvoy. That's an actor.
Hold on. I think he might be a golfer too.
Wow, what a resume. He acts and he golfs?
Yes, Richard McAvoy. He is a English pro golfer. He's not very good apparently. I mean, apparently he is, but also apparently he's like not.
So I guess that we will be the McAvoys.
I'm so sorry.
uh.
He's ranked like 86th.
Out of
Oh wait, hold on. What is this for? Hold on, wait. Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
In the latest tournament, the Qatar Masters that happened from March 23rd to the 27th. He ranked 80 something, I think it said. Yeah, he was down there on the list. He was okay. Our guy was down there on the list. He was 86. That's okay. There wasn't a U.S. golfer in the top 5. They ranked really low, like in the 20s, like what? 26.
Why are we now talking about golf?
Because golf is one of the games on.
Not yet.
In the fall. We're coming
in the fall.
So if you want to bring out your inner Venus and Serena Williams or golfing, because you know golf is always those games, you can definitely do that. So on Nintendo's page they say pass the Joy-Con controller to a friend for some 1v1, 2v2, or free for all. In bowling, all players can bowl simultaneously, which is great because you couldn't do that in Wii Sports. No waiting for your turn. Play each sport online or team up with a friend on the same system to take on opponents near and far in team sports like volleyball and tennis.
I am so you might not know this, Haley, but I am in fact the Venus and Serena, both of them, you know, Williams of badminton.
Oh my god. Listen,
so
every year I played badminton in high school, I ranked 2nd. And I was just too lazy to come in first, 1. And 2, the only reason why I ranked 2nd was because I got out of running laps the next day. So I was like, that's good enough for me. Listen, that's all I strive for is 2nd place.
We didn't do rankings in my school. We would just play. But my gym teacher very quickly realized, like, oh shit, Emily actually is good at this one sport. And he started having to put me on my own. So it would be 2v1. And it would be like the gym bros and me. The gym bros versus me. And I would fucking annihilate them. I'm so competitive at badminton. I love it. And pickleball.
If somebody finds a hole in our wall, it wasn't us. Now, there is a leg strap accessory so that you can kick the ball in soccer shootout. And with the free update, you're going to be able to use that to also kick the ball in soccer matches as well, which honestly is really fucking cool. So the game is going to be $40. I will say, in my opinion, for what it is,
That's
pricey.
I was gonna say that's a lot. I don't think that I am interested enough in Nintendo Sports to pay $40, but like if it goes on sale for maybe $30 if it's getting really good reviews, especially as like a multiplayer game, I think I could justify it so that we could all play it together with like our friends and stuff.
Now, it does say purchase the digital edition at a lower price and buy the leg strap accessory separately to use in soccer. So it looks like the $40 price might be. Or wait.
I think the $40 price is for the digital game.
That's so stupid. Then why does it say purchase the digital price at a lower price if the digital price is $40? Like,
I was gonna say, because I'm on their shop right now and it's digital Nintendo Switch Sports and it's $40, $39.99.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you've bought not Wii Fit,
Nintendo Sport,
the Ring Fit. If you bought
yes,
Ring Fit, Ring Fit comes with a leg strap. So honestly, if you already have one, don't buy it. Just use the one that you already have. I don't know. I'm torn because if you're going to actually play this a lot, then yes, 100% buy it. Like, I'm just like, oh yeah, bowling. Your bitch loves to bowl. So right there, you sort of kind of won me. But how often am I going to bowl? Like, I would rather buy, what was it?
I would rather go actually bowling.
Yeah. For $40? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, I would rather buy 1-2 Switch that has like all the little like multiplayer games.
Or even like Jackbox. Like we have all the Jackbox games.
I mean,
like, I would rather just buy the next one.
If you were super into Wii Sports, I think this is your game. I also think it's going to be great for people who maybe want to get up and move, but don't actually want to play a fitness-based game. I think this would be cool for them as well, because you could do this and say Just Dance and then Ring Fit and do exercise in your house.
Mm-hmm. And have fun doing it.
Yeah. So, and it's great that you get to play these games as well online, so you're not just, constantly playing against bots. So I think that's cool as well, because I remember playing Wii all the time and always playing against robots and just being like, damn.
Yeah, because you like reach a point where you're better than them and you're like, oh, I'm bored.
Yeah. So if you want to dominate your second cousin that lives in California with some cool sword fighting, buy Nintendo Sports. Nintendo Switch Sports, I should say.
Cool.
Yeah. So this is the wrap up of April's episode for the pre-review crew. We just decided to flame every game that is coming out because the boys are away and the girls get to play. That coincidentally rhymed.
Oh god,
I should be a rapper. But anyway, Emily, any parting words for our great listeners out there?
Okay, so Haley asked me to look for a game that came out in April. I'm not going to talk about the whole thing because it's just another remake, because apparently that's all April has to offer. But the game House of the Dead is having a 2020 remake, which its original was from like 1996, and it's just a rail shooter. But I was looking at their wiki, and if you go to the wiki for the remake, the title is Red Hot Kinky as Fuck Zombie Gay Sex Orgy, and then the quote is "Wanna suck my dicky dick" by your mother. And the first sentence of the wiki page is gay sex, zombie orgy, deuce bugs, low male gigs, low sex house is an upcoming remake of the 1996 rail shooter, The House of the Dead. So I was going to talk about that game. No point in doing it because it's literally just a remake. It's the same exact story. But somebody hacked the wiki and I giggled for 5 minutes straight. So that's goodbye. That is my parting word. My parting words.
I I honestly have nothing to say beyond. Well then, so my only parting words is please just take all that out of your mind. Please, YouTube, do not take this video down.
You can bleep as much as of that as you need to. They fixed the wiki page so it doesn't say that anymore, but like it said that when I logged in, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? That's hilarious."
There's gonna be more bleeps in this than a goddamn fucking Migos music video. But my parting words are play something other than Elden Ring for the rest of the year. And Kaiju number 8, great manga. Getting an anime adaptation, so all you weeps out there, go watch that. But that is it for this episode of the Pre-Review Crew for April 2022. Catch us next month with some more games that we're going to preview and all the games that we talked about this month or coming out for April in our review portion. And we will see you later. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and we will catch you on the flip side. Bye.
Bye.